Okay, so one of the main recovery methods that is heavily available to us, but is also often neglected, is our sleep. So our sleep is actually one of the most important methods of recovery. It's really important for getting taller as well. It can make you grow taller. It can help recover your muscles better, and it can just overall help you become a better athlete overall. So how much should you sleep? You might be wondering. So the recommended amount is around 8 to 10 hours of sleep, but like for athletes need more sleep because they're putting more strain on their body. So for athletes, I would recommend 9 to 10 hours if you can. Try to aim towards that 9-ish hours. So a lot of times basketball players like us, like athletes, they don't really have time to sleep that much because either we're busy with practices. Like for me, I get home quite late and then I have to go to bed late and wake up early because I have late basketball practices. So I have to, sometimes it's good to take naps during the day. And when you take naps, it makes up for that sleep that you lose from training or staying up late for school or whatever it is. So that's a good option for us. So why is sleep important? Well, sleep is pretty much important because it's essential for sort of repairing your wear and tear after exercise. So when you do a lot of exercise, your muscles will break down and they will be torn, right? So you have to recover them and make them build back to be stronger, right? So when you sleep, that happens. So athletes, they tend to spend proportionally less time in rapid eye movement, REM. That pretty much happens when you're fully asleep. When your eyes sort of rapidly twitch and move, that's when that's when your body recovers the most. So athletes tend to have less of it because we're not sleeping as much, which is something we need to fix. So also, there's also more time in slow wave sleep, and this is a sleep stage in which the body releases growth hormones, and it gets the body to work repairing muscles. It also builds bone and it manages your energy storage. So overall, you need to get a lot of this rapid eye movement while you're sleeping. Sleep is also just generally important for higher cognitive functions such as judgment, focus, and decision making, which may make the difference between winning a game or losing a game, or how good you play or how bad you play. So there was actually a sleep extension study that was conducted on basketball players that found that increasing sleep to 10 hours per night led to improvements in reaction time, sprint time, and shooting accuracy, as well as daytime sleepiness and overall mood. So as we can deduce from this study, sleeping can make everything in your life a lot better. Researchers, they also believe that these effects were possible in part because they allow athletes to catch up on their existing sleep debt. So they were allowed to make up for that time they lost. Short-term sleep extensions before important competitions might also provide a timely boost in confidence. You're going to feel more energized and you're going to have more confidence when you go to your game. There are a lot of different consequences of sleep deprivation, not getting enough sleep. Obviously, it can lead to more injury reduction. You're not going to recover as quickly. You also will have lower endurance overall, and you just won't be able to perform at your highest time. Everything will be sloppy. Your reaction time will be worse. You won't feel as good and energetic overall. So, some factors that influence your sleep. Obviously, at regular bedtimes, if you go to bed at different times, like if you don't have a consistent sleep schedule, that can lead to having poor sleep and not recovering and getting the most out of your sleep. Also, just physical discomfort. You could have vigorous evening practices. They could cause a rise in your core body temperature, and that would interfere with your onset of sleep. Student athletes, they may also experience sore muscles, fatigue, or even pain that causes discomfort overnight. And overhydration or dehydration before bed could also the quality of your sleep, which is something we don't want to work. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure. As an athlete, we have to perform at a certain level, so that could also be a problem with our lack of sleep. Inadequate sleeping quarters. If you're not sleeping in a good enough place when you go to bed, it could lead to poor sleep. Also, if you just have medical conditions like anxiety, depression, stuff like that, that could also lead to sleeping problems. Also, screen time. A lot of student athletes, they're on their phone and the screen all the time, but that's actually really bad for you because the blue lights, when they irradiate, it's really bad for your recovery and it reduces the quality of your sleep. So some tips: you need to, throughout the day, try getting plenty of light during the day and avoid screen time at night. Also, another tip is sort of just keeping the bedroom cool, dark, and sort of quiet. Also, avoiding caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol, especially in the afternoon and the evening, that could have a really bad effect on your sleep. Avoiding sort of large meals and excessive liquid before bedtime. Also another way to fix it. Also, just sort of winding down in the evening before going to bed. Maybe listening to a book, or reading a book, or listening to a podcast, something to sort of, or meditation. That's also good. I have a video on meditation that you can check out. Just sort of calming down before you go to bed can really help improve the quality of your sleep. Okay, so another method is there's something that I do. It's called no screen time. So pretty much in 30 minutes to an hour before you go to bed, you're not allowed to look at any screens at all, because blue light, which is emitted from your screens, is actually really harmful to your eyes. So it pretty much restrains the production of melatonin, and that is the hormone that controls your sleep-wake cycle, right? And this makes it even more difficult to fall asleep and wake up the next day. Also, our circadian rhythm seems to be especially sensitive to blue light since it has a short wavelength. Studies have also shown that exposures to blue light can also cause damage to your retinas, which is, you don't want that problem. Yeah, so also the National Sleep Foundation, they recommended that you should stop using electronic devices such as your cell phone at least 30 minutes before your bedtime. Instead, like I said before, grab a book, wind down. This is the best thing you can do to improve your sleep. So overall, if you really want to maximize your efforts and maximize your play on the court or just as an athlete overall, you need to be taking care of your sleep, because sleep is one of the most important things. For me, I aim for 9 to 10 hours of sleep, but sometimes I can't, so I only get around 8.5 to 9. But always try to strive for getting lots of sleep, because this will maximize your performance, improve your recovery, improve your overall mood, health, and confidence. So if you listen to these tips and you apply them into your everyday life, I guarantee you, you'll become a much better human being overall.